Sarah, thanks so much for coming out and speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure. Tell us a little bit about your role at Horizon.
I have been in digital for my whole career, actually. I'm the VP Digital Brand Strategy. I have kind of an interesting role where toggles between brand strategy, which is really client-facing, as well as digital, which is a little bit more investment activation focused.
And what kinds of things are your clients asking for? I imagine all of us are undergoing so much change. What do they need advice about the most?
They tend to, I think clients as a whole tend to gravitate towards certain buzzwords that are in the market. So DMP was definitely, or programmatic was first, then DMP was something they were always asking about. I think it's definitely mischaracterized sometimes. Right now, artificial intelligence for me specifically is probably one of the main things the clients are asking about. It sounds cool, and also understanding what we're doing in the space, what companies are doing in the space, et cetera.
And something like attribution, it's impossible to know.
Attribution is big. Everyone talks about attribution too.
Well, sure, because everybody would love to know that I'm spending $1 and they bought my product. But unless you're an online direct response mechanism, it's almost impossible to do that. Or maybe you think about it differently.
I think, well, I obviously agree with that from an attribution standpoint. Another thing with attribution is there's this idea of let's only focus our dollars on lower funnel activity because we don't have that much money and we need to see the results right away. There's a struggle to prove out why branding is important, why branding works. So I think attribution is really important in that realm as well.
So do you think that all this focus on measurement has some negative effects as well?
Absolutely. I think one, sometimes there's business decisions made, or there's decisions with campaign and the way that it goes forward that can be based on, is the measurement there or not? I don't want to run on OTT, for example, because it can't be measured. So I'm just not going to do it. I know the eyeballs are there, just not going to do it. We faced the same thing a few years ago when it came to mobile. Huge discrepancies for measurability, et cetera. So some clients just said, fine, I'm not running on mobile at all.
With all this change and all the focus on data and so forth, how you structure your teams and the people that you hire? Because it must be pretty different than it was even just a few years ago, I would imagine.
I would say one of the main changes is the focus on the analytics team, actually. Definitely having more people that are dedicated to analytics versus just having a planner, for example, going in, putting insights, et cetera, into an Excel sheet and sending that over. I have a very client-focused perspective, which I don't think is necessarily the same for everybody. I feel like the client should be able to talk and connect to the person that can answer their question right away, really understands it.
2018, all kinds of stuff going on. What's most exciting for you?
I've been really diving into, as I mentioned before, connected home, what's going on with Google, Amazon, how Google Voice and Alexa, how they differ from an audience standpoint, who are the people that are using them, why is their software different, what are the advantages and disadvantages across the board. It's been fascinating to see consumer habits shift so quickly in the last years.
Sarah, thank you so much for
Thanks.
sharing all those thoughts. That was
No problem.
great.
Thanks for having me.